takes on a life of its own. Your terror is unreal.
It was the night before Christmas.
You make Harry suffer so much for his mistakes. Not today.
When all through the house,
I wish I had a lifetime subscription of Penthouse magazine.
Moss Garcia throws rocks at dogs, uses profane language, picks his nose, impure thoughts, negative body hygiene.
not a creature was stirring.
Well, Santa, you look ready for a busy night. Come now, Charles, a little respect.
I have something for you.
I have superlative taste.
Not even a mouse.
Santa, you're so dirty!
Stockings were hung by the chimney with care.
He murdered 3 of them in plain view of all the parishioners. Santa Claus. That's the only way the police can identify him.
I'm going to play my tune now. Everybody will dance, you'll see.
In hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
Santa, you're so dirty!
What have you done? How many people have you killed?
The first time it was you that didn't want Santa Claus. I wanted all my life to prove to you that you were wrong.
Me? You're blaming me?
Avoid anyone dressed as Santa Claus.
This is Caitlin O'Haney, the final girl from He Knows You're Alone. And you're listening to Hysteria Continues.
And indeed you are. And I do apologise to Erik for going over the top of the cheeky girls.
Yeah, Justin, you ruined it.
I'm sure it wouldn't be the first time someone's come over them. But anyway, happy Christmas. And this is our 7th or 8th Christmas extravaganza, and we're very glad to have you with us. So charge your glasses, light the fire, grab your pussy tight, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Because yes, we have not only Christmas Evil as the feature, but we also have a fiendish Christmas quiz. And this time I'm going to be your ringmaster, and I'm going to make you sweat.
For the first time, Justin.
Pardon?
It's not the first time you've been a ringmaster.
I've done a quiz a few times before, I must admit, but we'll see.
You know what I mean.
No, I am pure as the driven snow, as you know, Erik. So,
Lord of the Rings. You're the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, for goodness sake, you're dildo Baggins. So. Right. Okay. Well, before we get on to that, we are recording this a little bit in advance. It's a smidgen before Christmas Eve, but we are feeling festive.
7th.
Sorry?
It's July the 7th.
It's not that far recorded in advance,
Can't wait
Erik.
for the World Cup.
Oh, Erik. Right. So, we recorded only a week ago, so before we get to Christmas quiz, have we watched anything of note? So, Erik, as you're very chatty tonight, what have you been watching?
I have been watching nothing, because it was literally 3 days ago since we recorded, so nothing.
Okay, right, well, fair enough. Nathan, how about you? Have you managed to squeeze anything in?
No.
Hey! Not even a nice little firm bit of rhubarb?
No, not even rhubarb.
Oh, it's very sad. Very sad. Well, what about you, Joseph? Surely you've managed to get your eyes around something.
Yeah, I've actually watched 10 movies, and I'm gonna go into detail about every single one of them. Actually, nope, I have not watched anything.
Okay, well, it's going to be very quick. It's going to be a very quick round.
Show.
Yeah.
Well, no, we have the quiz, don't forget.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, even though I will lose.
Well, I will say I did watch one thing, actually, tonight before we recorded. I watched a film that I'd kind of been on my peripheral radar for quite a while, and I wanted to see it, but I didn't get around to it until tonight, and it was a film called Jezebel, which was another Blumhouse production from 2014, I think, about a young woman who was forced to return home to her southern home, basically, with her father after a car accident where she loses her baby and her fiancé dies. And she gets caught up in all sorts of intrigue and sort of black magic kind of thing, sort of voodoo. So, I was pleasantly surprised. It's a bit trashier than I thought it was going to be, but that wasn't necessarily a bad thing. You guys seen it?
What year is it from?
2014, I think.
Okay, well, no, definitely haven't seen it then.
Okay. What about you, Nathan? It's a Southern melodrama.
It's what?
A Southern melodrama with...
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it? Okay. What about you, Joseph?
I've never even heard of it.
Well, there you go. Well, this is going to be a very, very short section of Recently Seen then, isn't it? So, well, as I've got quite a long one for you...
guys, we're recording out of whack just so everyone will have content. So we're just because we haven't watched anything doesn't mean we don't love you.
Yes, I'm going to catch up on stuff in December. That's me
too.
My new month's resolution.
Exactly, yes. So not to worry, but we are going to bring you a Christmas quiz. And
hello.
Oops! Oh dear! So my fingers on the. That wasn't part of the quiz, by the way. It was my finger slipped. But here we are. Here is the little intro to the Christmas quiz. Well, I hope you like that. That was Argento and Martino sitting here. Well, actually, funny enough, when I was playing that, even though it's on headphones, they both sat here, and their ears perked up or picked up. So, and you might hear little jingles in the background. That's not elves. That is Martino and Argento, who may make an appearance in a dirt tray a little bit later to leave a little Christmas log for you all.
Lovely.
Yes, but before we get on to that, well, this Christmas quiz is all filler, no killer. No, sorry, it's the other way around. All killer, no filler. It's all Christmas slasher movie related. So I have, in random order, well, Eric's going to go first because I need to mark these down and not get lost. So, Erik, would you like door number 1, 2, or 3?
Oh, it has to be a number 2, speaking of Martino.
A number 2. Well, this round, I forgot to say, is actually shooting titles. So This is the title of the film as it was shot. So when it was shot, not when it was released. So all of these films had different titles when they were shot to the ones that were released. So door number 2 is Christmas Evil. So what was the shooting title for Christmas Evil?
Was it You Better Watch Out?
Good answer, but not correct. So I will go to Nathan.
Is it Terror in Toyland?
No, another good answer, but not correct. I will go to Joseph.
Boy, I was going to say You Better Watch Out too. Was it Christmas Evil?
No, it wasn't a trick question. The actual shooting title for Christmas Evil was Santa. So there you go.
Where did that title from?
Sorry?
I wonder where they got that title from.
I have no idea, but
very cryptic.
Yeah, it's very cryptic. But okay, well, thank you, Erik, for flunking out already. Joseph, would you like door number 1 or door number 3?
Give me number 3.
Okay, what was the shooting title for the original Black Christmas?
Oh boy, I know this. Was it? Oh no, this could be a trick question. Oh, was it Stop Me?
It was. Well done.
Yes. Okay.
Well done. So it's a point for Joseph.
I almost said Stranger in the House, but I thought it Stop Me.
Yes, well done. So well done, Joseph. So if you can just follow that here, Joseph's lead, Erik, that would be useful. So Nathan, that leaves you with door number 1. So what was the shooting title for Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Was it You Better Watch Out?
No. Erik?
Was it Stop Santa, Don't Shag My Mommy? Oh no, that's not one of those films. Stop Santa, Don't Kill My Mommy.
Close, but not quite right. Joseph?
I'm going to say Sleigh Ride.
You are right. Yes.
Ooh.
It's another point for Joseph.
Yay.
Okay, well, round number 2. This is foreign titles. So Erik went first the first time. So Joseph, would you like door number 1, 2, or 3?
I'll stick with number 3.
Okay. So which film? Now you can either get 2 points for this round, but if you can't get the answer, I'll give you the answer in English, and then if you get that right, then you get 1 point. Okay, so which film was released in Germany as Bosse Weihnacht?
What?
Say Weihnacht.
Is that like Zagnut, the candy bar?
Well, it's a Bosse Weihnacht. So
BV, and this is Christmas, so I'm going to say don't open till Christmas.
no. Do you want to, if I give you the English title, you might still get a point, and this will go for everyone.
Sure.
So everyone, okay, the English translation is Wicked Christmas.
Oh, Wicked Christmas. And what year was this?
I'm not telling you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It wasn't part of the question. Okay.
Who was the main star in it? What was it called in the States?
I'm going to just guess The Dorm That Dripped Blood.
No. So I'm going to say, Nathan, do you want a chance to steal a point?
I'll say To All a Good Night.
No. So Erik, your chance.
What is it? Black Christmas.
No, it is the film we're covering tonight, Christmas Evil.
Oh.
So Joseph, so Nathan, would you like door number 1 or number 2?
I'll go with 2.
Okay, and the same with you. So I'll give you the title in the foreign language, and if you get that right, then you get 2 points, and then you get a chance to you get translation in English, you get a chance to get 1 point. So, which film was released in Germany as Jesse die Treppe in den Tod?
Jesse in Frappe, die Retod.
I'll say it again. It's Jesse die Treppe in den Tod.
To All a Good Night.
No. So I think it would throw that over to Joseph. Oh, no, actually, before I do that, sorry. No, sorry. The English translation is Jesse, the Stairs to Death.
Jesse, the Stairs to Death? I'll say Black Christmas.
Yes, well done. So you get 1 point. So...
Because of Jess.
Okay, well, Erik, that leaves you with door number 1. So which film was released in Spain as Noche de Paz and Noche Mortal?
Noche de Paz, night of something. No, what's the second bit? Noche de
Paz and Noche Mortal.
That's nice. Oh, Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Yes, well done.
Yes.
So it's 2 points for Erik.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
I'm not sure how fair this is since y'all live much closer to Germany. So you've heard the language.
That was Spain.
Oh, then y'all live so close to Spain, so you've heard the language.
Yeah, these films are all made in America, which you live in, so you've got the advantage.
Exactly. Okay, well, the next round is a dialogue sound clip round. So I think we are back to Erik. Are we right? Yes. No, Nathan to go first. So would you like
me?
door
Yay.
number 1, 2, or 3?
2. Deuces.
Can you tell me which Christmas slasher this bit of dialogue is from?
So, what now?
We could play another game.
Do we have Clue? I fucking love Clue.
I don't want to play a murder mystery after what that weirdo told you guys.
Honestly, that guy probably just doesn't want us up here partying. It's nothing to worry about. There's no killer lurking in the woods. Nobody's lived here for years.
I don't know, man. Don't be so quick to debunk urban legends, all right? Something fucked up might have happened here.
So Nathan, which film do you think that was from?
I don't know if I've seen it, but I'm gonna say, what's a Christmas movie? No, it's not that one. Maybe it's Santa Claus, CLAWS.
No, that's not right. But good guess. Erik, what do you think it might be?
Okay, the dialogue and the sound quality sounded quite modern, so I'm going to say the Silent Night remake.
No. Joseph?
I have no idea. I fucking love Clue.
I like Clue too.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game. I'm going to say, what's something we've covered before? To All a Good Night?
No, it's much more modern than that. It's Dismembering Christmas from a couple of years ago.
Oh. Well, there's a reason why I didn't remember.
Well, I told you there'd be a couple of hard ones in there. So, so who was that? Who went then? That was Nathan, wasn't it? So, Erik, do you want door number 1 or door number 2? 3, sorry.
3.
3. Okay. Can you tell me which Christmas slasher this bit of dialogue is from?
I think the Black Eye Sled Run is officially over. And all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't give a rat's ass about Tyler's little snowman.
I didn't do it.
Holy moly, Ryan killed Billy!
It wasn't me.
Okay, Erik. Do you know what film that was?
Was it? It wasn't Silent Night, Deadly Night again, was it?
Well, some of these, as it is limited to Christmas slashers, some of these titles will turn up repeatedly, but is that your final answer?
It is. I think it's the scene where he's sledging down and he gets decapitated.
I can see why you'd think that, but you are wrong. So, okay. Joseph, any idea?
Is it Silent Night, Deadly Night 2?
No. What about you, Nathan?
No. I know this one because I watched it recently. It's Stirring, a.k.a. Mrs. Claus.
You are incorrect, young Nathan.
Damn it. I knew that there was a character named Tyler in that one, so I thought, I think I might have this one. No. And then you just totally pulled the rug out from
I'm
under.
sorry, but you got it wrong. It's Jack Frost, the Killer Snowman movie.
It's the same thing.
Is it?
I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Don't believe.
It's an alternate title.
It's not an alternate title for Jack Frost.
Okay, I don't believe you. Unless you can prove me wrong, Nathan. I'm not being hoodwinked. So, that leaves... who does that leave who hasn't had a go yet? Joseph. I think... So...
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, well, you've got door number 1 is left. And so which film is this bit of dialogue from?
Mayor Revy.
Hi, sir. I just wanted
To wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Sheriff.
To you and the whole department. Thanks for another year of keeping our...
What have you told you about that, sir?
We have reason to believe that we have a serial killer at large in our...
So, Joseph, do you know what film that was from?
I think it's the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake.
Yes, I will give you that. Silent Night.
Yes.
From 2012. So, well done. Okay, right. On to round 3. So these are snippets of reviews of slasher movies.
Wouldn't this be round 4?
Oh, round 4. Sorry, yeah. No, round 3 is written one, so it's round 4. Okay. So these are snippets of reviews of Christmas slasher movies from newspapers at the time the film came out. So you've got to tell me the name of the film. So I think it's Joseph is first. So do you want door number 1, 2, or 3? Sorry?
It'd be Eric's.
Oh, Erik. Oh, I died. It's too much to handle. So Erik, okay. What would you like? 1, 2, or 3?
I'll have a number 1, I think, because I've been drinking a lot of Pepsi.
Okay, right. So, which film was this reviewer describing? It says, surely after an appetizer of such solid corn, the main course will be a souffle of delicious spoof.
I'm going to say Jack Frost again.
No. So, Joseph, who do you think? What film do you think that might have been for?
God, Did you say spoof?
Well, they said surely after an appetizer of such solid corn, the main course will be a souffle of delicious spoof.
Oh, trying to think of a spoofy Christmas horror or slasher film. Honestly, don't know, so I'm just going to guess To All a Good Night again.
I'm afraid not. So, Nathan, that leaves you. Any idea?
Let's see. Joe guessed To All a Good Night. So what does that leave me with? And it says spoof. I'm going to say it's from the Black Christmas remake.
Oh, very close, but no cigar, I'm afraid. No Christmas cigar for you. It's actually from a review from the Ottawa Citizen in November 1974 of the original Black Christmas. And interestingly, and we think we might have mentioned this before on the podcast, but the original Black Christmas wasn't always very well reviewed. In fact, a lot of people called it hackneyed and cliched and said it was tantamount to a spoof on existing horror movie cliches. So it's ironic, given the fact is it was the film that influenced Halloween and was the kind of granddaddy of all slasher movies. But at the time, it was seen as a bit of a hackneyed semi-spoof. So,
boo, I say.
Well, yes, but there you go. That was a trick question. The other ones might be a little easier. I don't know. So,
To you, I was saying boo to the newspaper reviewer.
No, I know. But so that means Joseph next. Do you want 2 or 3?
I'll stick with 3.
3. Okay. So which film is this little bonbon of critical analysis referring to? The exact plot of Family Mania is hard to follow, but by the time the whole revolting theme of madness and butchery is run through, the thud of axe against flesh has obliterated any artistic purpose.
Oh, boy. I'm going to say Silent Night, Bloody Night?
You would be correct, yes.
Oh, that was just a total guess.
No, well, it was kind of, it sort of sums up a little bit of the plot, doesn't it, with the whole Family Mania. So that was from the Sydney Morning Herald on the 1974 release of Silent Night, Bloody Night in Australia. So another point for you, Joseph. So that leaves Nathan with door number 2. So this one, it says, if bad taste was visible, the accumulated bad taste of bleep, 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 that movie, would be as visible from space as the Great Wall of China.
Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Indeed it was. Well done.
Thank you.
So, right. The next one is called Connections. So, Joseph, would you like door number 1, 2, or 3?
I'm going to stick with 3.
3, okay. Which actress who appeared in a 1980 Christmas slasher went on to play a grown-up Cindy in A Very Brady Christmas?
Grown-up Cindy in A Very Brady Christmas. It was a 1980s, like 1980 or 80s?
80.
80. I'm going to guess To All a Good Night again.
Yeah, but what was the name of the actress? It's not in the movie.
Jennifer Runyon?
Yes. Well done. So, Nathan, do you want door number 1 or 2?
1.
Okay. What connects the 1970 film Silent Night, Bloody Night and the novel The Sentinel?
The Sentinel?
The one that was made by Michael Winner.
What was the first movie again?
Silent Night, Bloody Night. So what connects the 1972 film Silent Night, Bloody Night with the novel The Sentinel?
Oh, the novel. The writer of the Silent Night movie wrote The Sentinel.
Yes, I shall give you that. It was written by the same person, Jeffrey Konvitz. So, Erik.
Yay!
Well done. That leaves you with what connects the 1972 film again, Silent Night, Bloody Night, with Friday the 13th, the original.
Hmm. God, I'm trying to think. Is there any actors in common? Was Steve Miner working on both films?
No, but good guess. So, Joseph, how about you? Any guesses?
The original Friday the 13th?
Yes, 1980. And also, I'll give you that because it's not fair because I haven't given Eric any more clues.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't have a guess.
Okay, well, Nathan, how about you? Do you want to crack at it?
Nathan, hello?
Oh, sorry, I was muted, and I thought y'all could hear me, but you couldn't. I'm going to say that Adrienne King played the telephone operator woman in Silent Night, Bloody Night.
I can't give you a point for that, but you were very close because Adrienne King is the connection, but she appeared in Silent Night, Bloody Night, The Homecoming in 2013, the quasi-remake sequel.
I think I should have got that.
I will give you half a point for that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, that's the John Clyza one.
I've not seen it.
I thought you were talking about the original Silent Night, Bloody Night.
Well, I was. No, but I was. But it was a connection. It's a sequel remake, isn't it? So there is a connection. Wouldn't you agree, Nathan?
I would agree.
Thank you.
It's technically a fan sequel. So
I know, but it's still a sequel. So right, okay. Next up, we have it's a Christmas slasher movie theme music or music from slashers, Christmas slashers. Oh. So, who went first last time? It was Joseph, wasn't it? So,
what round? Yeah, so it's Nathan.
Nathan, do you want door number 1, 2, or 3?
I will take 3, please.
3. Okay. So, can you tell us which film this bit of music is from? So, Nathan, do you know the answer?
That is from Don't Open Till Christmas. But
it is. Yeah.
It's also from the Old Federal Massacre Part 3, Bloody Christmas.
Well, there you go. That was the trick question or answer. But no, you are right. That was from Don't Open Till Christmas. So well done. And I'll give you scores on the doors after this round. So, Eric, do you want door number 1 or door number 2?
I'll go for number 2 again.
Okay, so which film is this bit of music from?
Christmas is a feeling everybody knows. Brings back an old man's childhood, making angels in the snow. It's a time to be forgiven.
So, Eric.
I like that song. I don't know what it's from, so I'm going to have to take a wild guess. It's obviously 80s. So I am going to guess... Is it from the Dorm That Dripped Blood?
No, it's not, unfortunately, Eric. So, Joseph.
I'm going to guess To All a Good Night again.
No. Nathan, I'll be surprised if you don't get this.
Well, Joe took my guess. I'm going to say Silent Night, Deadly Night.
You are correct.
Oh.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Now, how many times is Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Well, I know it's...
Answer? Yeah. I'm just going to start saying that.
Just start saying that.
Just start saying that, exactly. So, the scores on the Christmas doors. In the lead, by half a point is Nathan. Coming up the rear, just behind him, is Joseph on 5 points. And way down, you look, hold your hands over your eyes and look through the glare on the snow, past the snowman, the killer Santa. And then a bit further from that is Erik with 2 points.
2 is still quite good.
Yeah, well, if you want to look at it that way. Okay, so next round is the remakes round. So we only have 2 more rounds to go. So the remakes round. So obviously there's a clue in the title. So who went first last time? It was...
I think I went first last time.
Okay, so Erik, would you like door number 1, 2, or 3?
I'll go 3 this time.
Okay, so which remake got this review? It's not only creative in the way it presents the requisite ickiness, it keeps the puncture wounds and close-ups of dismemberment to a minimum. More than that, it's creepy and campy at the same time.
Okay, I'm going to go for the Black Christmas remake.
And you would be correct.
Yes!
Well done.
That's worth 3 points, yeah?
No. So, Joseph, do you want to... Sorry, Erik.
How many points do I get for that? Is it 2?
1.
Oh.
So unless Joseph and Nathan score a foul, you can't win, Erik. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad tidings, especially at this time of year.
Stop! I hate you! No, fuck yourself! I hate you!
Anyway, let's move on. So as I mute Erik, Joseph, do you want door number 1 or door number 2? Joseph.
I don't know what's going on anymore. You guys are just kind of arguing.
Would you like door number 1 or door number 2?
I'll take door number 1.
Okay. This is a true or false round question, so you have 50% chance of getting this right. It's when James Wong and Glenn Morgan announced their remake of Black Christmas, they said they considered cameo appearances from members of the original cast. Is that true or is that false?
I'm going to say false.
No, it's true.
Oh.
So I can't pass it over because it's true or false question.
No.
I can't because that wouldn't have been fair. So, but you do have a chance now with yours, Nathan. Yours is which remake of an 80s Christmas slasher had this review? This results, for instance, in a scene in which Santa pushes a live woman into a wood chipper. It's probably needless to add that she was topless at the time.
The Silent Night. Deadly Night remake called Silent Night.
Yes, well done. So we are on to the final round, which means again, Nathan, I think, goes first.
No,
I think Joseph goes
Joseph,
first.
okay, all right, Joseph. This is the miscellaneous round. So door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3?
I'll go with number 3.
Number 3, okay. Of which festive slasher did Thomas Radecki of the National Coalition of Television Violence say, without a nationwide and long-lasting protest, this movie is certain to end up on HBO year after year, destroying Christmas as a holiday of peace and love?
I almost feel like I should say that one movie title, but I feel like this might be a trick question, so... I'm going to say, God, do I say it or do I not? Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Correct, yes. Okay, well, Nathan, door number 1 or door number 2?
I can hear the bells ringing in the background.
Yes, me too.
It's Santa. He's outside with a big chopper.
I'm going to go with 2, please.
2, okay. How many remakes have there been of Bob Clark's Black Christmas?
Oh.
And this could be a trick question, or it might not be.
I'm just going to say 1 because I don't know of any others. I'll watch it though if there's more.
Okay, well that is incorrect. So I will throw that open to Erik. How many have there been? Sorry,
2.
There have been 2 indeed. Oh. There's been there's a 2006 one, and there's one called Black Christmas, The Night Billy Came Home from 2016. which I saw. If you look it up on IMDb, it looks like one of those movies that has an all-black cast. So, and it looks like a low budget. I think it's only made for $10,000. But so there was an unofficial Black Christmas remake by the sound of it. So, but that leaves you, Erik, I think, doesn't it, with the last one. So, it says, which Christmas slasher stars an actress who was nominated 3 times for an Academy Award and another who was an Emmy winner and a 3-time Tony Award winner?
Is it Home for the Holidays?
It was. Well done.
Yes.
Oh, very good. I was wondering if we'd get a question on Home for the Holidays.
I'd like to, I would have said Silent Night, Deadly Night, but I wouldn't have got away with it. Well, yes, the schools on the doors, the Christmas doors, the elves are bringing up the things, and the booby prize goes to Erik. So thank you for trying. At Christmas time, we have to be charitable, don't we?
5 points. That's quite good.
You got 4 points.
5.
4.
5.
4.
You got miscalculated because I got the last 2 right.
Yeah.
I got my pointer. I got 5 in total because I got.
Even if you did get 5, you still lost. So,
yeah, I know, but I just want to say I got 5.
Okay, well we'll get the adjudicator in, but Erik still came last. Number 2 was Joseph on 6, but way out in front is Nathan on 6.5.
Way out in front.
Well,
so
kind
the
of.
half point he cheated on is what made him win. I'd be very.
That wasn't a cheat. I said Adrian King.
Yeah. Well,
he said completely wrong. You got the reason why the connection was completely wrong.
That's why I only got half.
But surely it should be, if anyone's going to be arguing with Nathan, it would be Joseph, because if Nathan didn't have that half point...
Fight.
But you know what? No, Justin did that for me because I did a quiz once and I gave Justin a point for saying hide and go shriek when the answer was actually hide and shriek. But I knew that he knew what I meant.
Which is a different film.
Plus, I'm too stoned to argue with anyone.
Well, there you are. Merry Christmas, everyone. So, anyway,
very happy New Year.
Exactly. And as Erik composes himself, he will be bringing us in shortly after this, his choice, our little Christmas trick or treat. That's Halloween, isn't it? A little Christmas present. Is it going to be a good one, or are you going to take it back to the stores on Boxing Day?
When little Harry sees his dad in a Santa Claus outfit groping his mother one Christmas Eve, life changes for the quiet little boy. 30-odd years later, you'd better watch out in this 80s horror classic from the small but perfectly formed micro-genre of Yuletide slashers. Because now, all grown up and disgruntled by his dead-end job in a depressing toy factory, he's making a list, checking it twice, and descending into a self-created Christmas nightmare where he is Father Christmas and his judgment is final. Dressed as St. Nick, Harry is going to show his bullying co-workers and all the other naughty people what the true spirit of the season is. Run for your miserable lives. The vengeance is going to be swift and bloody. That is from the Arrow release, which is one of many very generous releases that Christmas Evil has had over the past sort of 10 or 15 years. This is a film that I didn't like when I saw it first. Probably in the mid-90s, I'd say. It's that genre of slasher where, I've said this before, where the killer is just a regular Joe Soap and he has a personality and he's not in a mask, he's not silent, there's no mystery. I tend not to be drawn to them. I've really grown to like this film quite a lot over the years. I mean, it doesn't feel too much like a slasher movie to me. Its horror content is quite slight, in fact, I think, overall. It has horrific moments, but it generally feels more like maybe a character study with lots of sort of cheesy moments thrown in as well, of course. I think the lead actor, Brandon Maggart, is that how you say his name? I think he's terrific in it, although he is very over the top. He has the most hilarious running style I've seen in a film. And I'm not usually a big flag waver for these type of films, but as I said, this one has grown on me quite a lot. It belongs in the same genre as things like Don't Answer the Phone and Don't Go in the House, and to a lesser extent, it sort of is like something like Maniac. And a lot of those ones I find kind of just depressing and maybe a bit slow. And this one is quite slow. I know that one of us in the podcast was moaning about it yesterday, saying it was the 50-minute mark before any kind of mayhem of any kind happens, and it reminds me maybe like the last film we discussed, The Seduction, which again was a slow burn as well. But I think it works in this instance. I like that build up to that the 50-minute mark, where there's kind of what I call the burning moment, where it's the equivalent of Cropsey jumping out of the raft and killing loads of people in the space of 15 seconds. This is what this does here as well, where Harry kills 3 people on the steps of the church. He pokes one in the eye with a toy soldier, which is it's quite a lo-fi effect, but I think it's quite effective. It has kind of an 80s rubbery, gory glee to it. I love that there's a child in this, and I didn't think this was actually possible. There's a child in this film who's bolder than Justin Kurzweil, and his name is Mos Garcia, and he's rude to his parents and picks his nose, and he likes to look at nudie ladies in magazines.
Well, that's where the similarity ends, Eric.
Oh, yeah, actually, I didn't think about that bit. And he gets a good slap from his mother at the end, which is kind of a fist-pumping moment, I suppose. Am I allowed to say that? That's probably politically incorrect. Or maybe I shouldn't say that. And I love as I said, I love the campy elements. I mean, John Waters is one of the biggest fans of the movie out there. There's a scene where Harry, dressed as Santa, is trying to squeeze down the chimney of Frank, who's this co-worker who had conned him into covering his shift at the toy factory. And Harry is trying to squeeze down the chimney in the belief that he really is Santa and that he can somehow magically shrink it down. But his efforts and his facial contortions make it look like he's trying to do a colossal poo down the chimney, which always makes me chuckle. The campy element is enhanced by the fact that the killer is dressed as Santa. And again, killer dressed in that sort of outfit is always going to be slightly silly. There's nothing terribly sinister, I don't think, about a killer Santa. It's like the bear costume in Girls' Night Out. It's only ever going to come off as a bit silly. I said come off. I also love that hilarious scene where the the townspeople are chasing Santa with the burning torches, as if it's something from the 15th century. I mean, this is set in 1980. And I'm wondering if that was a sort of a deliberately campy and cartoonish element that the director added. For me, the film, it's not as good as Black Christmas, but I think this is way better than Silent Night, Deadly Night, in my opinion. And I know Silent Night, Deadly Night is a more straight-ahead slasher movie, but I think Christmas Evil is the better film. I find it offbeat. I find it funny in places. I love the ending, which I know is probably going to divide people. The very final shot of the movie, I think, is fantastic. It was for a film that I found so boring originally when I saw it in the 90s. It's amazing how wonderfully entertaining I find it now. I mean, I don't think it's the best film ever, but I am a fan. I've been won over by it. I mean, it's one of those films, and I know, Justin, you say this a lot when you look back in your reviews and Hysteria Lives, and you've slated a film maybe that you reviewed in the late 90s or early 90s, and then you sort of come around to it now and gone, oh, actually, I really enjoy that. So that's what's happened to me with Christmas Evil. I love the staff party as well. I find it very authentic, where it's sort of set in a depressing staff canteen, and it's just people getting drunk and knocking over the record deck and stuff. It kind of reminds me of a Christmas party we had in work one day, where we were given a few too many free cocktails, and we all ended up dancing on tables and spilling gin all over computers, and general mayhem ensued. But Christmas Evil, okay, somebody who probably doesn't share my enthusiasm for it is Mr. Nathan Rhubarb Johnson. Would I be correct, Nathan?
Rhubarb Johnson. Yeah, listen to you.
Where's the rhubarb lady? All up in that alley property.
I really wanted to share your enthusiasm. Maybe in time I'll be like you and I'll be able to see it kind of through your eyes, how you see it. I mean, I'm bored. Like, like you said, the horror elements are very thin, and it's definitely not much of a slasher movie at all. And that's what I wanted from this movie, but I didn't get that. So, I mean, it's definitely a mismarketed movie because, you know, the artwork for it is Santa with an axe, and it says first came Halloween, then Friday the 13th. So, I mean, you're thinking it's going to be a slasher movie, and then you watch it, and it's not really at all. It's, like you said, it's definitely a character study movie. I love the scene at the church when, you know, like you were mentioning with the toy soldier and the flimsy looking axe that he kills the guys with. And honestly, from that scene on, the movie's not too bad. I'll say that before that moment, I was ready to give this movie like a 3 out of 10. I was that bored. But once that happened and up till the like bonkers finale, I probably added 2 more points just for that. So, I mean, now I'd be more likely to give it a 5 out of 10. It's definitely middle of the road for me. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm just probably best to say I'm just a little underwhelmed by it. And I know I'm in the minority because a lot of people love this movie. And I'm willing to watch it again on down the road and see if my opinion changes. But as of right now, it just doesn't quite grab me. It, you know, it's got its moments, but overall, I'm very much lukewarm on it. I love the chimney scene, like you said, though.
I don't think you're alone in sort of not being too enthusiastic about it, though. I think there are a lot of people who aren't huge fans of the film. But interestingly, yeah, you're mentioning it being mismarketed. I mean, when we were playing the trailer there, the tagline was "The night he dropped in," which I'm assuming is to cash in on the night he came home. Justin, your thoughts on Christmas Evil? Like, I didn't actually look at your review on Hysteria Lives. What was your original thoughts on it back then?
To be honest, I didn't either, so I have absolutely no idea. So I came into this kind of relatively fresh. I think I've regaled. It's weird. It's got this kind of weird deja vu that we've spoken about this movie before, and I'm sure we haven't. But I think I have regaled the story that when I was in New York, and it was one of the movies I bought in the gay porn shop on Christopher Street when they had all the VHS in the window, and I went and bought their window display. And one of those was Christmas Evil, recorded. It was on the Saturn video label. And it was recorded on EP full frame, which meant that the picture was absolutely atrocious. It was the videotape was as long as an elastic band, and the quality was, you know, practically unwatchable. So my first introduction to the movie wasn't great. So I did pick up the special edition several years ago, and it wasn't the Arrow one. I don't think it was it was an American edition that I've got. So I think watching it through the eyes of knowing it's a John Waters fan favourite, he's a fan of the movie. I like Nathan. I think when I first saw it, I probably was disappointed by the lack of slasher movie action. I would have wanted it to be more like Silent Night, Deadly Night. But having said that, I appreciate the, I find it very quirky and very watchable movie. I think for such a low budget movie, I think it's very well acted. It's got these kind of weird little touches all the way through it, which I kind of appreciate. And it very much feels like a fairy tale, which I think is what the director was going for. Really, it's like it's not a straight ahead movie. It's more of a fantasy movie in a lot of ways, certainly. But the ending is explicitly so when, you know, the killer Santa drives off in his van like Santa would. Across the sky, but all the things, the elements of the for want of a better term, like the village people, not the village people, but that would have been interesting, wouldn't it? Village people had been chasing Santa, that would have been a showstopper. But the townsfolk, although they're all from the Bronx or something, or with the burning torches, that was very much obviously harking back to the kind of Hammer or the old Universal Monsters Frankenstein movies, but also that idea of a kind of a fairy fairy tale, and there were kind of all these bits throughout it where it was, kind of strangely quirky, and bits of it, like when Brandon Maggart was kind of dressing up as Santa at the beginning, before he became twisted. I mean, he was always twisted, but before he became homicidal, he was dancing around dressing as Santa. It reminded me of the scene in the beginning of Pee-wee's Big Adventure when he was having his breakfast. So it's got this kind of bizarre, kind of gleeful kind of element, and I kind of like it. I think it's a good character study, and I think it's very watchable and very quirky. I love the 1980, 79, 80 kind of aesthetic of the whole thing. For such a low-budget movie, relatively low-budget movie, it's kind of very well shot. And I like the kind of, it feels almost, I don't know for sure, but it feels like the director kind of shoehorned the slasher element into the movie because it was a way to sell the movie. And so I'm not entirely sure if that was correct, but I've got a feeling that may have been the case. But it's a kind of black comedy character study more than a slasher movie. But I enjoy it. I always get a kick out of watching this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a bit slow moving, but once you know what you're in for, as in like you kind of know it's not going to be jingle balls to the wall kind of slasher movie, then it has its own charms, and I think it's kind of worth the putting the time into it.
Okay, well, while you were speaking, I looked up your original review on Hysteria Lives, and you gave it 1.5 out of 5.
Okay,
but as you said, your opinion was kind of marred by the fact you were watching that crap print on VHS. You finished your review by saying, perhaps when I see a crisp print, perhaps when you see a crisp print, it really shines, but I can't see it somehow, though. But you do. But you also mentioned that Leonard Maltin gave the film 3 stars in his movie and video guide, which is weird because Leonard Maltin was never a fan of apart from Halloween, he was never a fan of slasher movies, and he always gave them 1.5, or Bomb, I think was his famous.
Well, it was kind of interesting that I'll get into the whole background thing later, but this film didn't really push the buttons of people with a killer Santa the way that Silent Night, Deadly Night did. It seemed to get a bit of a pass, although I think some people were probably a bit upset. But it seemed to be, it's interesting, a difference in the reactions from audiences from 1980 to 84.
Probably because they all fell asleep during it.
Well, maybe.
Before it got to the killing part.
Oh, Nathan.
Joseph, what do you think of Christmas Evil?
Well, I had seen this movie once, 30 years ago, so I remembered nothing about it. And I was talking to Nathan this morning, and I was thinking to myself, as we were talking, if Nathan finds a movie boring, then I don't really have much hope for it. So I watched it this morning in preparation for the show, and I actually liked it.
Yay!
To a degree.
Oh.
I think it's a really good movie. I think Brandon Maggart or whatever his name is, he kind of walks this fine line between sort of this malevolent person and then someone who also kind of begs for your sympathy. So I think it's a very good central performance here. It kind of reminds me of a jollier version of Maniac in a way. This is what this film is sort of going for, that kind of character study. The cinematography is great. The film screams Christmas, so the atmosphere is just wonderful. Like I said, it's a good put together film. It's a good character study. Unfortunately, I when I was watching it, I wanted a slasher film, and you don't really get that here. I mean, you get little moments of it, but it is, like Nathan said, is mismarketed as a slasher film. I also have a problem, like the opening scene where he sees Santa and his mother, kind of getting frisky with one another. It has this kind of this real textured sort of build up to, something going to happen. Like maybe the kid's going to run upstairs and grab a gun or a machete and come back downstairs and, hack people up. And what's he do? He just kind of takes a little straight razor and just kind of slices his hand. It's
it's a snow globe, isn't it, that he breaks?
Is it a snow globe? Okay. I couldn't remember. It's like a little piece of something sharp anyway. He cuts his hand. Anyway, it's like it has this great build up to what I perceived as like a nothing payoff. And I kind of get a lot of scenes in this film sort of do the same thing, where there's a lot of good buildup, but the payoff in each like little individual scene isn't as good as the buildup. So I kind of feel like that through the whole movie. I mean, so a good movie, not a slasher movie in normal terms, I'd say. But, a decent watch. I don't really have a desire to go back and watch it again. But, I had a little bit of fun with it. Not the kind of fun I was looking for, but, it was all right. I really do love that ridiculous ending, though, with the car going over the cliff. It's just so stupid.
It's very much like the ending of Grease.
Yeah, so a marginal thumbs up from me.
Okay, well, see, I have seen Christmas Evil several times over the years, so I knew exactly what to expect when watching it this week. Had I been expecting a slasher movie along the lines of Silent Night, Deadly Night, perhaps I would not have had as much fun. Speaking of that final scene where the van drives off the bridge and it appears to fly off into the sky. Now, I've always read that as being all in Harry's mind. He actually crashes the van, but in his mind he's flying off into the sky because he really believes he's Santa Claus. Now,
I've some of the trivia I read.
Yeah, well, but I've read some reviews by people that are saying, "Oh, it's a ridiculous ending. It turns supernatural at the end." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, I never even would have imagined it was meant to be taken literally. What do you guys make of that ending?
Well, I think it's going to bookend it, isn't it, from the very beginning of the movie, where Santa Claus comes down the chimney, doesn't he? Because you couldn't have really, even if it was his father, he couldn't have come down the chimney like that. So, but I did wonder. I kind of read it as potentially his brother killed him, or it was some kind of he was unconscious and dreamt it. Because do you know what I mean?
Maybe that's you go to heaven. You go to heaven in a big van
full of toys. Yeah.
And you get to go over the moon.
That'd be my favorite. Just like
I will say this, Eric, in Christmas Evil's defense, that the ending to that movie is probably one of my favorite endings I've seen.
Yes.
I mean, it's an amazing ending. I love it. I absolutely love it. My problem is, of course, the rest of the movie. But like I said, like the ending alone got extra points on my review.
By the way, I too have found the tune, and I'm ready to play the tune. There you go. You are welcome.
I'm not going to lie. I was actually lip syncing that when you were playing it.
I don't blame you. It's such a catchy tune. Maybe it's not the last time we'll hear Toy on this podcast.
Ooh.
Well,
Did you hear that, Justin?
I did. Yeah, well, it's all ready to go. It's I didn't want to, obviously, it's a bit of a tradition, isn't it, to play out with shit music. Usually a Christmas tune. So it fits right in.
We always play out with awesome, we sometimes play out with awesome music when I'm in charge.
Sometimes.
Always.
But with that whole ending thing, I don't know. I think the whole idea was the director wanted it to be like a fairy tale. So the idea perhaps that Santa, he wasn't really Santa, but in his mind he was, and maybe he became, it's all open to interpretation, wasn't it? But the whole film, none of it, there's throughout the whole thing, it's a lot of it's, you've got these fantastical little elements, haven't you? Say like the Santa coming down the chimney at the beginning, lots of little things are a little bit off. So I do like one bit I really like. My favourite bit in the whole movie was where he's standing in front of the mirror and he puts his hand across his face. And he does goes from happy Santa to angry looking face Santa, but he pulls his hand down across his face, and it's very simple but effective to show that he's, a bit mental.
Yeah.
So,
any other further thoughts on I was going to say Silent Night, Deadly Night, just out of the quiz.
Un pois. Well, we could go on to some background and see if we that might might have some more to talk about the movie.
Nathan, what do you have any background for us?
Well, I mean, I don't have much because it's only been 3 days since we last recorded, and I've been working a lot. But I did read, like I said, about the ending where they had said that the intention was that he crashed the van and died, and that was basically in his mind that he flew away. And that's kind of how I interpreted it when I first watched it anyway. So,
So that's it?
He's Fiona Apple's dad.
Oh, is he? Brandon Maggart?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yay! I gave you trivia you didn't know.
See, it's funny, maggot, apple. I wonder if that's...
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, deep, man.
I don't like apples that have maggots in them.
No.
I prefer apples without maggots. What
But do you think
Nick?
did she, is that her real name, Apple? Or did she... Because I can't imagine Fiona
that's her real name. It's Fiona Apple Maggart.
Okay.
Are you sure it's not Fiona Apple Paltrow?
It could be.
Is she a tart? Apple tart? No?
Yeah, she might be. Is that your joke of the week, Eric?
No, it should have been, because it's actually big.
Well, he pipped you to the post, Erik.
Eric, did
you hear that one from Justin? Very good.
Justin.
Yes.
Did you know that Fiona Apple is a vegan?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So
just checking.
I wouldn't know anything she'd recorded at all.
No, neither would I. I couldn't tell me one Fiona Apple song.
I like Fiona Apple. Well, some of her stuff's okay. Some of it's kind of
Okay. So where do we get up to?
Yeah, Nathan.
That was the trivia that I had. Otherwise, no.
Joseph, do you have anything for us?
I do, but you can already read it, so there you go.
Justin.
Right, okay. Well, I've got a few bits. The film was previewed as You Better Watch Out before it got released. 8 weeks before it got released, it got a preview in Pittsburgh, of all places. And an article said that the title might change because the director was worried. The person reviewing it said that it might be compared to the Junkola we've all been watching for months, which is obviously talking about the slasher movie boom. It was shot in and around New York and New Jersey in Christmas 1979. A lot of the film was shot at night and outdoors. It was very cold, and a lot of the cast and crew kept on getting sick and kept on curling up and sleeping wherever they could. A bit like with Halloween, where they couldn't. It wasn't shot at autumn time, and it wasn't shot in somewhere where they really have kind of fall leaves. But they needed snow, but it was a snowless winter in 1979, so they had to make their own. What else was there? The director said he worked on the script for years, and he designed it originally for an extremely big budget film. And he said, in Hollywood, everyone told me the script was good, but the idea was too weird, and I was told to make it less expensive to produce. As I mentioned before, the film was shot under the title Santa, the people releasing it, Edward R. Pressman Productions, released the movie, said they saw potential for it as an annual holiday horror fair like Halloween, which kind of explain some of the things we saw. What else was there? Oh yes, the toy factory in the movie was real, and I think the producer of the executive producer was Ed Pressman, and his family had a toy factory, and they used it as principal location. But apparently they had to put, and I missed it this time, they had to put a disclaimer at the front of the movie, or they said they were going to say that that the toy factory wasn't somewhere where you had to kill a Santa Claus, so they didn't want to put people off buying their toys. The director said it's like a fairy tale. Its approach incorporates violent and lovely things. If one thinks about fairy tales, you can see that horrible and fantastic things happen in them. The director also sort of said that he was trying to, reclaim the real spirit of Christmas. He said it was, and quite rightly, that Santa Claus, the version that we know of today, was really an invention by Coca-Cola, and of course the real myth of Santa Claus, sometimes darker, and obviously with things like Krampus and all those things, there's more of that's come to light more recently. So the film shot for 10 weeks in and around the Montclair area, and additional filming took place in Edgewater, Englewood, Union City, and New Brunswick. And and it was scheduled for a Christmas 1980 release. So I think that is all I've got.
Okay, I have a few things to add to that. The director, Lewis Jackson, says the final budget came in at about £750,000. Dollars, I should say, sorry. The fake snow you're mentioning, Justin, was created by cutting up white plastic bags, which is a no-no in this day and age. Britannia Alda is in this movie, according to IMDb. She's playing a character called Teresa, but I didn't have a chance to re-watch the film to try and spot her. Did anyone see her in the film?
No, not unless she was at one of the party scenes.
I didn't recognize her either.
I looked for her, but I didn't see her either.
Yeah. I don't know if I know during the quiz we mentioned this, but one of the other alternate titles for the film, it was released, I think, in Canada as was Terror in Toyland. And it was retitled Christmas Evil without the director's consent. He didn't even realize until years later that it had been retitled Christmas Evil, because as far as he's concerned, the original title is You Better Watch Out, which is what it is, the title it's under on Vinegar Syndrome's 4K Blu-ray release, which is the one the director approves most of.
I feel bad for the director. Can you imagine, like, you make this movie that's a character study and it gets marketed as something totally different? I mean, that would be such a bummer if you were the maker of this film and they totally made it look like a completely different film.
See, I'd like to get Justin into a recording studio and get him to record some really goth heavy tracks, and then get somebody in to remix them to make them sound like Kylie Minogue. And
perfect.
Mark Justin as a teeny pop star. And I wonder how you'd feel, Justin.
Well, interestingly, the article I found from a New York newspaper about the making of the movie said at the time when they were previewing it that Lewis Jackson didn't like the title You Better Watch Out. So maybe he changed his tune, or kind of it's a long time ago, I guess.
There were some big names who auditioned for this role, and actually you can see some of them on the Blu-ray I have from Arrow. It has audition footage on it from back in the day. And one of the people on it is Jo Beth Williams, who, of course, went on to fame as the mother in the first two Poltergeist movies. But also, apparently, Kathleen Turner and Glenn Close both auditioned and were turned down. It's not like they turned down the role. They were turned down. So, I mean, there could have been a big star in there. Lewis Jackson, and this will be a particular interest to you and to Joseph and Nathan, is that Lewis Jackson was offered a killer Easter Bunny movie after the minor success, I suppose, of Christmas Evil. So he could have.
Oh, cool!
He could have made a Night Before Christmas.
He could have made a good movie.
Let's see, what else do we have?
Because we didn't.
Oh, you did. Let's see, what else do I have that hasn't been mentioned? Oh, yes. There's a scene in it where Brandon Maggart's character smears soil all over his face and presses it against the house. Apparently, I didn't know what was going on there, but apparently this is some Germanic legend of Black Peter, who was some kind of Krampus type figure who used to deliver dirt to bold children, and he'd mark out their houses by imprinting his face, his soiled face against the walls of the house. So that's what that scene was about. Moss Garcia's mom is played by an actress called Patricia Richardson, who went on to be famous as the mom in Home Improvement, which was the Tim Allen sitcom from the 90s. And I think that's about all I have. Yes, that is all I have.
Okay, well, let's hear what other people have got to say about the movie. Joseph, do you have a Facebook up?
Yes, I do. Okay, let's see, where do we start here? This is the Facebook feedback. This is from Bill Ackerman. He says, only Black Christmas rates higher for me when it comes to Christmas season slashers. And this is easily the best killer Santa movie, though there's a dog barking, sorry. Though I would be more likely to put on Silent Night, Deadly Night at a party. It reminds me a little of another New Jersey slasher favorite, Alice, Sweet Alice, in that it has surprisingly stylish direction, terrific production design, and despite some humor, a downbeat tone that may alienate anyone looking for the action and pacing of a teen body count movie. Ironic that a film with such a critical view of cynical commercialism would wind up being retitled, reissued, and resold so often. Ted Rawson says second only to Pieces for my favorite bonkers ending to a horror film. Armando Munoz says Sweet Slow Burner. Brian Norton says Birdman has the same ending. Michael Meep Ferrari says it's been far too long since I've last seen this stunner, but let's talk about what's really important. Have you all been naughty or nice this year? Who will be sitting on Santa's lap, Eric?
Well, obviously I'm going to be sitting on his lap, yeah.
Yes.
Not just his lap.
Console tennis.
Mark Harrison says a waste of time. Asia Ramey says one of my favorite Christmas horror films, way ahead of the pack. This one has solid story, likable characters, good directing, and Fiona Apple's dad as the big guy. Extra points for this alone. This is a very solid film with an ending you won't believe. Part horror, part fantasy, and all fun.
Fiona Apple's dad is the core of the movie, I think.
Yeah. Jenny Hall Cameron says,
That was hilarious.
Was it?
Fiona Apple's dad is the core of the movie.
I got it.
God, I work so hard.
Oh, Eric. Anyway, speaking of Fiona Apple, Jenny Hall Cameron says, heard it's a holiday favorite for Fiona Apple. Tristan Comer says, bored me to tears when I saw it. My least favorite of the Christmas slashers I've seen so far. Give me To All a Good Night or Don't Open Till Christmas any day over this one. Alone in the Dark, a century of stalk and slash. They say, improves with each viewing. Give it another go this December. Willie Greer says, freaking amazing. The taxi driver of killer Santa movies. McGart knocks it out of the park, and one of my 3 favorite endings in a horror movie ever. Ara Alishan says, I remember feeling disappointed when I first saw Christmas Evil several years ago, but must admit that it fared much better upon a recent revisit. No, it's not quite a slasher, but whatever it is, it's rather interesting and is absolutely drenched in Christmas atmosphere. Lucas Garges says it's less of a slasher and more of a Christmas-themed taxi driver, to be honest, but it's gripping. The scenes of our protagonist stalking children are genuinely unsettling and off-put by his actual good deeds. Very interesting little film that is underrated, in my opinion. Derek Bourgeot says, great Christmas atmosphere in this film. More dark character study than slasher film, but as long as you know that going into it, it's a great Christmas film. With its great characterizations and its what-the-fuck ending, I always watch this film during the holiday season. Ted Rawson says, I'll never get how Brandon McGart lost Best Actor of 1980 to Robert De Niro in Raging Bull. Robbed. Thomas Brisson Maine says, it's really overrated for me. I got the Arrow DVD a few years ago and struggled to get through it. I haven't been tempted to give it another go yet. Robert Long says, Remy here, it's an interesting story, bizarre elements. Not that rewatchable, but a decent time waster. The beginning scene is really well done. Spencer Swindon says, love this movie. Bought it on a whim as a teenager when I saw it. It was John Waters' favorite Christmas movie and was initially disappointed since I was expecting a straightforward slasher. Still, I found it to be a fascinating oddity and went back to it every year to the point where it's now a Christmas tradition. That ending and Patricia Richardson slapping her bratty child across the face really put me in the holiday spirit. And speaking of fascinating oddities, I found Toya's live album at a record shop in Florida recently. It was in the budget bin, and at $4, I think I overpaid for it, but still kind of liked it.
Okay.
How? It's a mystery. Love the podcast and happy holidays to all. Okay, this one's from Logan Abbey.
Oh.
That's Logan Abbey. That's not Simon Logan. It's Logan Abbey. So you have some competition, Simon. Favorite Christmas horror ever. Love that Fiona Apple's dad is the main character. Gareth Morgan says it's bum. It has its moments, but it's the worst of the Santa slashers for me. Watch Silent Night, Deadly Night, or Don't Open Till Christmas for a Santa who really knows how to make who really knows how to take mofos down. David Hall says, great riff on Taxi Driver, surprisingly well made. Shane Lambert says, I've wanted to check this one out for a long time, looking forward to it. Dave Rendon says, I have it on the Diamond Vision double feature DVD along with Silent Night, Bloody Night. My son and I played the famous company party tune scene every single year on Christmas Day. I'll have to have my granddaughter see it someday, right? Darren Burrows says, if you go in expecting an 80s-style popcorn slasher, you'll be sadly disappointed. If you see it as a very dark character study, much in the same way as Maniac, then I think you will get more out of the film. This always warrants a view every Christmas, and I never get sick of it. Okay, that's all the Facebook feedback. Over on Instagram, we have Slasher Junkie, who says, I gave this a second chance last year and enjoyed it. My expectations the first time were a bit different. Eugene Weaver, number 9, he says, a yearly viewing for me. I've grown to really like this odd little psychological horror film. The first time I watched it many years ago on a poor VHS transfer, I hated it as I was hoping for something more akin to Silent Night, Deadly Night. But after the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray release, I rediscovered it and fell in love with all its weirdness. The shitbox clunker van taking off into the sky, a.k.a. Santa's sleigh ending, is brilliant and totally catches you off guard. Meat Hook Cinema says, brilliant film. I saw it as part of a double bill with Black Christmas in Sydney. This is one of John Waters' favorite films. The Squint One says, not really a slasher, but certainly an underappreciated Christmas dark comedy and weird character study. Criterion J says it's bloody brilliant and the ending is great. Alex Borenstein says a movie that's too brilliant for mere mortals to comprehend. Spinell Joe says, love it. Very creepy and well-shot film. Fog of Death 81 says, this was one of my fondest theater experiences. Thank you, Exhumed Films. I had never seen it before and had such a great time with it. Jake the Snake 1854 says, decent watch. The ending is totally worth it. And Clay Rendering says, I found my tune. Whatever that. Oh, yeah, the tune. Okay. And finally, from Twitter, we have Jack who says, oh, hush. Stop barking. I'll kill you. We finally have Jack who says they all deserve to die. And the bitter bastard Nerdcast finally says, just watched this today for the first time. More of a character study than a horror film. It creates a portrait of a sad, mentally ill man desperate to make the world conform to his idea of perfection. The acting is pretty good overall, and I liked seeing DeMunn in an early role. That's Jeffrey DeMunn he was famous on The Walking Dead. I don't know if you guys mentioned that or not, but
no,
yeah, that's all.
Yeah, he's also the sheriff in The Blob as well.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all the feedback. That was a lot of feedback for Christmas Evil. Wow.
Yes, mostly positive. One or two people who don't like it. But, yeah.
There you go.
Very good.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you for everyone for writing in. So this is how to get in contact with the show.
The content of this podcast was provided by Justin, Joseph, Erik, and Nathan. If you enjoy our show and are willing to provide a donation, please consider becoming a Patreon subscriber at patreon.com/The Hysteria Continues. Your monetary kindness keeps the show on the air, and in return, you'll have access to exclusive content not released elsewhere. Also, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to stay up to date on all of our future shows and Blu-ray commentary releases. For general feedback, our email address is thehysteriacontinues@gmail.com.
Yes, so thank you for everyone who's written in or contacted us, and we'll always read your feedback out on the show. So we will be announcing what we're doing next for the new year, our first episode for 2019, a little bit later in the show. And also we have an extra special Christmas Patreon, don't we, where Nathan picks 2 Christmas favorites. Nathan, do you want to trailer those a little bit?
Yes, I picked Seasons of Belief, aka The Grither from Tales from the Dark Side, and an All Through the House episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Fantastic, and we had a lot of fun recording that. So that's already recorded, but it should be out either by the time this is out or very shortly afterwards. So lots of exciting things coming in 2019. So, but we have a choice now, after the credits or joke of the week.
I'll say go for joke of the week.
Okay.
It's my joke of the week. It's so fantastic.
Who are Santa's favorite heavy metal band? Slayer.
I loved it, Eric.
Thank
I loved
you.
it.
Thank
It was
you.
great.
Not bad. Better than your earlier joke.
My backup joke, in case there was no reaction, was why could Santa not get down the chimney? Because he was fat and stupid.
I actually kind of prefer that one.
Oh, Eric.
Oh, Eric.
Any other jokes of the week, or doing after the credits?
I don't have much for after the credits, I'm afraid.
Well, let's find out what you have.
Don't press stop. Shut up. After credit show.
So, Nathan.
I think that our main character has passed away, and I think that everyone else in the film has to get on with their lives and, pick up the pieces.
What, the Pieces Blu-ray that Arrow released?
Yes.
Oh.
So, do you think his brother and his wife and children get over Uncle Maggot passing away?
Yeah. So
What
that's
do you-
what I'm going to go for. That's what I think.
What do you think they would have
What do you
played at his funeral?
What?
What do you think they would have played at his funeral?
Here Comes Santa Claus?
Very possibly.
They ride. I think what happens is he dies and he flies off to heaven in his van, and he meets Adrienne King up there because she died as well.
Oh,
No,
Eric.
he did not.
Controversial.
Ooh.
She lived.
Yeah, well, you give me proof. You find Alice Hardy, I think is her surname, and you show her to me, and then I'll believe it.
I have a picture of me with her on my Facebook page.
I have a picture of me with her as well.
Well, there you go. She's alive.
Okay.
It's the debate that's gonna run and run. Joseph, do you have an after the credits or?
Yeah, I'd say they met up with Thelma and Louise in midair and had a conversation.
I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything you haven't said. So I'm just going to say he flew off and went to. Well, maybe no. What's that? The Christmas Story. What was the one with the killer elves, the zombie elves that was out a couple of years ago? Christmas Horror Story.
Satan's Little Helper? No,
not the Jeff Liebman one. It's the one. The one where he goes, the Santa Claus has to fight the zombie elves, and one of the elves jumps up and shouts at him, "You Christmas cunt."
I don't know what this is, but I want to see it.
Oh, you should see it. It's quite good fun. Yeah.
Does anyone know what it is?
I think it is a Christmas Horror Story. It's an anthology. It's got Krampus in there, and I can't remember the other story, but the wraparound story is about Santa battling zombie elves.
That are using the C word. Oh, naughty elves.
They're getting very bold, yes. So, but anyway, I can't think of anything apart from he'd fly up there and it would all become a big mashup, which isn't very funny. So I won't dwell on it. But so we are almost at the end of our Christmas episode extravaganza. Yes. So. What are we covering next time? Joseph, I think it's your choice.
Yes. Well, I don't really remember if we had a proper Halloween episode this year, so I'm going to take us a couple of months back in time. And we're going with a Michael Alishan pick. There's a couple left. We're going to cover Haunted Ween.
Is this? Should I be scared?
Yeah, probably.
Scared in a bad way, yes?
I like Haunted Ween.
There you go.
Should definitely be scared.
We should all be very, very, very scared indeed, yes. So, okay.
After Haunted Ween, I do believe we're going to have a 8-year episode maybe. I know we have the Family Feud game coming up and all that good stuff.
Okay. So we're going to be picked, are we, what, for the 8-year anniversary?
It'll be Nathan's pick, so it's all up to Nathan.
Oh, I get to pick our 8-year anniversary episode. Okay, well, I'll let you guys know. I'm going to pick something really good.
Oh, God.
No, don't dread.
What a Christmas present to us all. Okay, well, although it doesn't feel particularly Christmassy, because here it's 25 degrees and sunny, but it's, and also it's still November, but when you're listening to this...
What did you say the temperature was?
25 degrees, but it's in
cold.
No, that's
Celsius.
in proper temperatures. Yeah,
Celsius, Nathan.
Yeah.
It's 25 degrees Fahrenheit here and cold. It's freezing.
No, it's warm and sunny here. We went for a swim today. So, but anyway, I'm not making you jealous. Obviously, freezing your asses off, but it doesn't feel very Christmassy anyway because it's November. Sorry.
25 degrees Celsius is 77 Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay, that's really nice weather.
Yeah,
that's nice.
It's lovely today. But it's when you listen to this, we will be full of Christmas joy and gin and whiskey and red wine and chunky Kit Kats and edibles. So, maybe not all in that order, but yes. So we hope you have a lovely Christmas and a very happy New Year, and we look forward to celebrating more of the world of slasherdom into 2019 and beyond, and hopefully we'll be able to share with you a few more audio commentaries that we've got coming up, but our lips are sealed, unlike Eric's on a Saturday night. But
that reminds me, Justin, I don't know how you lead these commentaries. I just don't know how you do it.
How do you mean?
Like, I'm doing
keep it going. You keep the
you keep it going. Yeah, you keep the conversation going because I'm doing a commentary with Johnny Krug for Ninja Terminators for MVD Rewind for a really bad action movie called Showdown, and I have no idea how I'm going to keep the conversation going for 90 minutes. It's daunting.
Well, your podcast is very good, Joseph, and you're well able to keep talking, both of you.
Yeah,
So.
just talk about loads of other different movies as well, and sort of talk about movies that came out around the time.
Yeah, I'm just going to take our 30-odd or 25-odd, whatever it is, number of commentaries we've done and just kind of use the same formula, I guess.
Yeah, just kind of, or it's like on Little Britain when they had like the one of them dressed up as Barbara Cartland. They said, how many words left have I got of the book? And she said 15,000. So she said, well, pretend I'm going on a sled, and this goes la 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 la, and just kind of for about 5 minutes. And so how many words left have I got now? Just so something like that, just sort of, shoot the shit, as it were. I'm sure we'll do very well. And we'll look forward to listening to it. So that'll be a stocking filler, will it? Will it be out in time for Christmas?
No.
I think it's February it comes out.
Okay,
maybe, or January.
We save your Christmas money for that, and also our upcoming commentary. So, well, have a merry little Christmas, and watch out for those killers lurking as snowmen and dressed as Santas. And if you can survive all of that, survive Christmas, then we look forward to seeing you in the new year. So, we're playing out with some Christmas tats. I think last year we had Janterry, so this is the English Janterry. What are you playing out with, Erik?
We're playing out with the English. Trying to think of who's in America. The English. She's the English.
You're stuttering, fool! You can't even get your words right.
It's Toya Wilcox.
Yeah.
A cover version of the Greg Lake classic "I Believe in Father Christmas."
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
With her beautiful voice, and it's just so moving. It's so moving.
Yeah. Well, it's in penny sales and bargain bins everywhere from January the 1st. So here we are, and say goodbye to the good people.
Bye, good people.
Ho, 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 shit.